rockabilly portion of our show. Just doing a little Travis picking in the key of B flat against the song Cherokee, which is a big part of the rockabilly guitar style. I was using what probably people would say is way too much echo. I'm completely into way too much echo. I think it's a great device that was used on recordings as soon as they found out how to do it, and they're using it today. The Travis picking, I recommend you learn a couple of the basic licks and try to play them around all the chords. Most of the stuff comes from Merle Travis, one of my heroes, translated to the early rock and roll by guys like Scotty Moore. There were several others, but his main riff sort of is like a variation on Little Junior Parker's several songs that he recorded for Sun. And this is the Mystery Train thing, and you can find that in all kinds of country and rock and roll. The first release was the That's All Right Mama, so that's what we're going to do first. I've been playing for this for so long that I probably changed it a little bit. So I would suggest taking a lick like that and just getting your fingers around it. So the main thing with Travis picking as opposed to Chet, you're really getting two bass notes. And I decided to get this right, to really learn how to do this. So I would write it down, or I would do it so slow to find out where these notes are falling that I'm playing with my fingers. The bass notes I'm doing with my pick. And those are right on the beat. That would be a fine lick to start with. You're tempted to want to go. Now I'm going to slow this down to nothing. So I break it up into pieces. I do that forever. Grab, pick and finger, bass note. So the bass note is, the pick is only getting the D and the A string. Then I grab the E string with my finger. That's the next part. Boom, ching, boom. So I would practice that forever. Then my second finger or third finger is going to snap that note. So bass, grab, bass, and that comes on the offbeat. So now there's no bass note with that note there. So is the last thing. Now, so that's half the lick. And that's the second half. So it's grab the outers. Then it's that finger on the B string again, in between the B's. Final thing is probably the easiest. High string, bass note, B string, bass note. So you put the whole thing together and you have this. Now once you get that pattern down, see how far you can take it. Try to play it against a D9. And you notice I was alternating bass. Try not to do that. Pattern down, and it's like any other lick. Once you learn, you can play that anywhere. And now, try it against an E. So that's All Right Mama. And then they do this little thing. Again, grab, because you learn a few of these patterns, doesn't mean that you're not going to run into trouble when you're trying to play melodies and stuff like that. But just having the ability to play the alternating bass will help you for whatever you do. The next riff that I think is the most important one to do is that I mentioned a minute ago is the Mystery Train lick. And this has been showed a million ways, a million times. And I actually do 3 bass notes. But I heard Keith Richards still can't play it. That's with the 2 bass notes. So it's bass, then grab. And with that grab, by hitting the D string, these fingers are grabbing all 3 notes. Then there's a snap. Hit the bass note again, then I lay these fingers down flat, and I snap, and that's how I play it. When I listen hard to the Elvis version, it doesn't quite sound like that. It sounds like they're hitting the top strings, and you barely hear this first, so I try to get it real creepy. I start slowly incorporating this. So what I'm actually doing is bass, grab, bass, grab. Now before you get into all the other parts of the song, I would just take this lick and work on that forever. And try to play it against every chord on my neck. Now, if you got that lick and the lick we just did, you can kind of jam on 8,000 songs. I'll do it. Now, that's not exactly right, but it sure sounds cool. But what's right about it is we haven't lost that bass note. Now, I'm going to turn off the echo. Kind of lonely without the echo, isn't it? The way I set my echoes, I try to listen. I call it a Johnny Cash thing. It's like if I go, then I put in the echo and I get the 16 notes. Now I'm a one-man band. Now if I can keep that going and start putting some notes on top, I really got something going on. But earlier, I keep talking about hammering this third. And that'll be the last lick we work on in this lesson. Okay, so we're going to break this down, and again, I always do it as slow as possible. And so this part is pretty easy. Bass, grab, bass, grab. So you're grabbing the bass note. It's real similar to the first lick, isn't it? Now, instead of snapping it, we go... And that might take a while because you hammer, and when the hammer comes down, that's when your pick comes down. So I would just practice that little bit for, about 4 days. Sometimes quickly, sometimes not quickly. But this one took a while for me. So that's the first part. Break it down. I can't play it slow and I gotta redo it. And then after you get that, snap that high string. That's in between the basses. And then we end it with... So you got the hammer, the high note, another bass note. Bass note. Another bass note. notice that I'm playing my thumb. Once we learn these bar chords, now we forget about them and we use our thumb to play the bass notes, because now I'm going to finish this lesson up with just a few different rockabilly licks with this bass note pattern with the echo on. And, you know, we'll break them down later, but you're going to see how I keep repeating the same licks against the 3 chords in the song. So we just did. Plug in a different ending. We'll edit that in somehow. All right, let me do it again.